Good morning.
Yes.
Good
Namaste,
morning.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Yeah, I can see we have few students now. We will start with the session. Just before we start, I hope you all are well and all are doing good. And I would like to ask today anyone whose turn was today, so we can just I will just write down the name like who will be giving the presentation or just for 5 or 10 minutes. So may I let
I think it's Blaze today, isn't it? Thursday?
Okay.
I think so.
So if she will be here, she will let us know. Anna Kalvi.
I think Blaze's microphone just came on, so she may be able to hear us now. Blaze, it's your turn today.
Hi, yeah,
Yes.
sorry, I was struggling to connect, but I'm connected now. Yeah, I am on today. I think so is Jennifer. And if it's okay, I'll change my subject to muscular system. And then if Jennifer can go first because she has an exam at 4 o'clock.
Yes, so we will continue it in the last 10 minutes, okay? For both of you.
Okay, thank you.
Yes, thank you so much, Blaze. So Jennifer and Blaze, in the last 10-15 minutes, we will see today. Before we start, we will chant Om one time. Inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much. And today we will be learning about the chakras. Yesterday and in this week, we have started with the Nadi. We have seen in short about the prana. And also yesterday we have seen about the Pancha Koshas, which were the 5 sheds and the 3 shariras. That means the 3 bodies where our 5 sheds reside for the cover of our soul. Then we have a place for the soul there. Now, today's topic, we will see about the chakras in short. Chakra. So I think you have been studied at least in short about the chakra. So basically the chakra, this word means a vortex or the spiral form of energy or a wheel. So the meaning of this word chakra means the vortex or the spiral form of an energy which makes a chakra, or in short we can also say a wheel. So what and how is this chakra and where is this chakra in our body? The chakras, there are number of chakras in our body. There are like more than 7 chakras. We will study here about the major 7 chakras in our body, which you have been told or which you all know. But in our body, there will be more than major 7 chakras. This chakra is not formed or like not or created. This chakra is just an pranic energy or the movement of prana on the certain points and within that dimensions where on the spine where this prana flows into that energy channel makes up our chakra. So chakra is not the thing which we see the beautiful pictures on the Google or on the books or in any kind of books we can see. This is not the thing which exactly looks on our back, that pictures or images what we see is not what is still present on our back. So when we study about nadis, if you remember, this nadis about 72,000 carries our prana, and this prana, the vital life energy, is being spread all over the parts of the body. But who regulates this pranic energy in our body? The regulation of this pranic energy through this nadi is done with the help of the chakras. So chakras are nothing but the points which makes this pranic energy regulate in a circular orbit, and it spreads to each and every part of our body. Clear? Or can I explain? Like, for example, this is your spine, this line, and you see this chakra, this chakra, this chakra, this chakra. But when the nadis in your body will intersect on certain points on the spine, I am talking about 7 major chakras, then in those certain points, when the prana will flow, when the prana will regulate in those certain points, will make up your chakras. So it is nothing but the pranic flow into your energy channels only. It is not separate from the nadis or the prana. It is the pranic flow regulated in your energy channels only on the spine. Got it? The chakras. In short, the definition or the introduction. Yes, no, just
Yes.
give me the thumb.
Yes,
Okay.
thank you.
So these chakras will help to remove all the pranic blockages from your body. If there is not a single pranic blockage in your body, then our body will be completely disease free. That means we are completely healthy, not only physically, but also mentally, but also psychologically, but also emotionally. So on all these aspects, if all the pranic blockages are being removed from our body, then we will be completely healthy. And if we will be completely healthy in our life, then we will be completely happy in our life. Happiness is not just what we gain from the desires, or what we have some ego, or what we have some pleasure, or what. This is not a happiness. This is a temporary form of happiness. But the permanent period of the happiness is what? Our health. The health is what? Complete form of happiness, the blissful state, if we are completely healthy from all these problems by removing all the pranic blockages. Now, studying about these chakras, how these chakras get active, or how these chakras get stimulated, or how these chakras get opened, this we will see. But 100% of opening of this chakra is a very rare case. Is very rare case. Believe me, here speaking about chakras, my heart chakra open. Okay, I say I love everyone, unconditional love to any form of human being, any form of the soul in this planet. But 100% of opening this chakra is a very rare case. So these chakras, even if we know some qualities about some chakras, has to be completely 100% open. If even 50%, 20%, 60%, if it is open, then also we have sufferings, we have problems in our life. So every chakra has to be open and clean from the root of those chakras. So here, we're speaking about these chakras. For the 7 major chakras on the spine, we start with the root chakra now, the Mooladhara chakra. So everything will have the qualities and siddhis. These chakras will get active with the help of the yoga, pranayam, kriyas, meditation. Along with these chakras have certain mantras to get stimulated, which could open up these chakras as well. Again, I am speaking about those ancient or the real yogis traditionally, where these mantras were being chanted by those yogis who completely opened their chakra to raise their level of consciousness, kundalini, below the spine, to completely activate all the chakras till here, till your crown. Those you have been told, I think, the mantras like Lam, Vam, Ram. Have you heard? Have you studied about these mantras in a bit, at least?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So these mantras, like for every chakra, has one mantra, and this mantra is very powerful to activate and cleanse those chakras. That means it completely opens up and will give a yogi, I am telling, a supreme form of siddhi, will give a yoga students and a yoga teacher some high form of qualities. But to the traditional yogi, if these mantras were chanted for more than thousands number of times, more than 1,000, 10,000 number of times, that time they used to chant and sit in a state of meditation for more than a month in a same pose, in a comfortable pose. Here, it is not even possible for a normal yoga practitioner to sit in a meditative posture for 1 hour without a movement or without keeping their eyes closed. So, speaking about those yogis who chanted the mantras, allowed themselves to achieve that supreme form of power, those are known as siddhis. Those are known as siddhis. I will write here, with every chakra, there is a specific siddhi. What is being present? With every chakra, there is a specific form of siddhi. Namaste, Hardeep ji. Yeah. She left. She was from 200. She just joined. Okay. So these powers and these siddhis were achieved, but not to use it. These siddhis, which were achieved by those yogis, were not being given or gifted by the God to use. We have those form of desires and ego within us, where whatever we achieve, we have to show that. So whatever we do with our desires and ego will not take us to reach that blissful state, that is Anandamaya Kosha, before the soul. To reach those siddhis, we or the yogi couldn't use that. If the yogi used that form of siddhis or that form of supreme form of energy, not certain qualities, then that powers would not come back again. It takes that number of years again to achieve that. What I am been talking about, that we will see now with the chakra. So first I will speak about the Mooladhara chakra. What are those powers also we will see. So for the Mooladhara chakra, I will write the first. Can you see the whiteboard, everyone?
Yes.
Yeah. Mool. Mool, this word means root. Mool means root. Adhar. So Mooladhar or Adhara. So A is silent. I told you yesterday also, A is silent. The chakra. So this is chakra. So Mooladhar. Dhara is what? Support. So support to our root, our base of our spine. That supportive chakra here is our root chakra. Adhar is what? Support. This word. This Mooladhara chakra. Do you have your books or something else with you? Can I ask? Or at least some notes given to you? Yes, no? Everyone.
Do you mean to do with chakras?
Yes.
I don't think I do personally.
Okay, no problem. No problem. We don't need anything. Even I don't have any
Yes,
notes.
I have my notes with me. What do you want me to look up?
So side by side, you can look up the picture. For those who don't have, no worry. We will see everything on the whiteboard. So those who have got the note can also see the picture side by side. Those who have not got, then it is very good. See the whiteboard. We have everything here as well. See, about the root chakra, about the Mooladhara chakra. Here quickly, I will show the root chakra, the number of petals. We will have the 4 number of petals in our root chakra. In these 4 number of petals, here in the center, we have the Sid mantra, Lam. Can you see this letter in the center which I have drawn? This letter is what? The Sid mantra or Bij mantra. That is what? The mantra Lam in Sanskrit. So Om is also the form of Sid mantra, but for the next chakra. This is what? Our root chakra. Okay, now speaking about this root chakra, here we have the element for every chakra. We have the sense associated with every chakra. So for the first 5 chakras, it is very much important to know that they are connected to our body. The next chakras, like the third eye and the crown chakra, are being connected with our mind and soul. How also? That we will also know in today and tomorrow's session about this chakra. So this root chakra has the element associated. What is the element? Have you studied the 5 elements? So elements associated with the root chakra. What are the 5 elements? The earth. So the element associated with the root chakra is earth, the ground. Now, with this root chakra, there is also the sense associated. Do you know what are the 5 senses? The senses like smell, taste, eyes, hear, touch. So all these senses are associated with our chakras as well. So for this root chakra, we have a sense of smell. For this root chakra, we have the sense of smell. Why it is associated with the root chakra? As the nadis, when we study about the Ida and Pingala and Sushumna, these nadis originate from the base of the spine below the root, and as they intersect each other through all the chakras, they will end up in our third eye and will drop down to our left nostril, the right nostril, Ida and Pingala, the sun and the moon. The sense associated with the root chakra is what? The smell. Okay. Apart from this, up till here cleared?
Yes, clear.
We have the Bij mantra. Bij mantra, we say that is Sid mantra. Bij means the word Sid. And these mantras for every chakra are known as Bij mantras. So this Bij mantra is Lam. This Bij mantra is Lam. The organ, the gland associated with the root chakra, if we studied about the endocrine system, the gland associated with this chakra was the gonad gland. The gonads gland, the reproductive glands in the human associated with our root chakra as well, gonads. And here I will write now Siddhi. Siddhi, if you will see the whiteboard, this means the word SIDDHI means supernatural powers or supernatural powers. This extreme form of the power will have with those yogis who have achieved to open the root chakra 100% completely. This Lam mantra has been chanting by those yogis, like I will demonstrate one time to you. When we inhale and exhale and when we chant Om, similarly we chant Lam, just our focus and awareness should be completely on that specific chakra We should not have any other thoughts in the mind. At the moment I am speaking, I am teaching, will have thoughts in my mind. But apart from this, in the self-study time, in the self-practice time, we can apply this in the meditation. I will just show you how we do this meditation as well. Like when we inhale, our focus is on the root and we chant La. So feeling all the vibrations only at the root chakra will help to open and clean and activate those chakras. The lum, the vibration of that lum ending have to feel only in the root. Not one time I have shown, not 7 times, not 21 times, as many as we can. We could at least do minimum 108 number of times as well. We can practice the sacred number, minimum. But that will also, I am saying, not help to open the chakra 100%, will improve lot of qualities inside you. Like some of the qualities like inside we have with the like constipation also problem, we have like sciatica nerve problem, we have weight gain and weight loss problem. There will be many problems associated with the root chakra. When our weight is not balanced, like people, those root chakra has an emotional quality of ego. So to reduce the ego, when we open up this root chakra, we try to reduce our ego. We try to become grounded. This ego in each and every human, considering yoga teachers, yoga practitioners, yoga students, will not speak about a yogi. Ego in each and every one has some form of the ego, at least 1% of the ego. To try to bring it more down and to reduce it, to stay grounded, to stay calm, to be patient, is what all the qualities also for the root chakra. So also it helps in many other problems. So we have like angers and the past like phobia. We also have lack of courage problems when we have our root chakra imbalance. So like when our root chakra is imbalanced, there will be these many problems in our life, all connected with our gonal gland. And speaking about the siddhi, that is supernatural quality, supernatural power, which is only being used one time by the yogi, or should not used by the great yogi. That is what? Levitate or elevation. So to levitate from the surface of the ground is what the extreme form of a siddhi to that yogi. When the root chakra is being activated and opened completely, that means a yogi can levitate him or herself above the ground, above the surface of the ground. That is what? The super siddhi associated with the root chakra. Is it clear? Or if you have any questions, please ask me now only about this.
It's all clear.
Yes, it's all clear. Thank you.
Yes, it is very hard or very difficult to believe, but this is what I am saying, which is not being given in the book. The knowledge, what I am being saying from the mouth, please note it down. Maybe in future you will need this, what I am saying. So this is what? An extreme form of siddhi. What a yogi will have, not only the yoga practitioner or the yoga teachers or the yoga students. So it is completely different with as much as less ego or the desires will be human will have. The next chakra we will see is Swadhisthana chakra. or the sacral chakra. Number 2. So first number, root chakra. We are seeing the chakras from the bottom, not from the top to bottom, but from down to the top. Because why the number 1? Yes, people. Why we are saying the first chakra, root chakra? Why not the crown chakra? Can you just give me this answer?
Is it because the energy is released from the crown out of so it all has to elevate to the third eye, activate the third eye?
But why can't we gain? Why can't we gain the energy or activate directly the third eye? Because our Kundalini, see, the Kundalini energy is present at the base of the spine, where our level of consciousness will rise from the base of the spine. And when our Ida and Pingala, these two nadis will both flow dominantly, our Sushumna will get active. When our Sushumna channel, the center of the spine, will get active in the subtle body, the Kundalini energy present at the base of the spine will rise up. The serpent form of energy will activate all the chakras, helping to raise the level of consciousness. And as this Kundalini reaches up to the crown chakra, that is what the enlightenment, a samadhi, nothing but the beginning of yoga, not the end of yoga, where the self-realization begins. This is just the preparation, what we are doing daily to prepare our body, to prepare our mind, and for the blissful state, to make our soul permanently happy, not a temporary form of happiness. One day happy, one day sad, not like that. So the second chakra, Swadhisthana chakra. Just these two today, and tomorrow we can proceed with the next 4 as well. So Swadhisthana. Okay. This Swadhisthana chakra is located. Forgot to tell you, the color of the root chakra is red. Just write down the color of the root chakra was red. For the Swadhisthana chakra, here, this chakra, the color of this chakra is orange. The element for this chakra is water. This chakra has 6 petals. This chakra has 6 petals with a small crescent moon that indicates the element water, where the Sid mantra inside or Bij mantra inside in Sanskrit I am writing is Vam, V-A-M, Vam. Here the Sid mantra inside I will denote in the Sanskrit letter Vam. This mantra chanted those number of times without any thoughts, without any ego, without any desire will help achieve open this chakra 100%. If chanting with less number of times, 3 times, 7 times, 10 times will be very, very helpful to improve the qualities of those chakras and our life. Then color element and the seed along with that sense. So sense associated with this chakra will be taste. The taste is what the nadi will originate and will end up in our mouth, in our tongue, which what indicates that the prana flowing through this nadi will take to our tongue to achieve that sense of taste. Just near the center of gravity, where this chakra has been located, just above the root chakra, 2 to 3 fingers or maximum 2 to 4 fingers above the root chakra. So at the base, you will see the root chakra. Just 2 to 3 fingers up above, you will find the sacral chakra, the sacrum region. And following this Bij mantra, here I will write down also the Siddhi, the supernatural form of the quality or supernatural power for the yogi. I will write the extreme form of the power, that is the yogi could also, or loss of fear of water. That means a yogi will not have any form of fear from the water. That means a yogi can also walk on the surface of a water. A yogi can be able to walk on the surface of a water, but this extreme form of the power achieved with this chakra is not to be given to the yogi to achieve his own desire. If it is used and achieved for his development, that he's shown, if he's showing or developing, or if he has been using the power, the Kundalini, which was risen up to that point, to that chakra, will drop down again. The Kundalini, which was rise up to activate this chakra, will be dropped down again. Again, it will take many more years for that yogi to help achieve that level of consciousness about this chakra. So it depends. If we use with our own desire, with this all powers we have, it takes again that particular amount of time to gain those powers. And why a yogi should not use this? If you have this question in your mind, why a yogi doesn't use this or should not use this? Because this power, all associated with the extreme form of power, will be used by the yogi after the achieving enlightenment. That means when the self-realization begins after achieving enlightenment, these helpful powers and with all the qualities will help achieve that yogi to get out his or her soul from the cycle of life and death. That means to achieve moksha, nirvana. That is what the liberation of the soul from the cycle of life and death. After giving all his desires and ego, after the samadhi, there will be 10 stages of samadhi. So it is more deep concept. Clear up till here? We have 10 minutes. Okay, yeah. So we will see in short about these two. Now the concept is clear. In the same way, we will see about the rest as well in tomorrow. We will start with Jennifer and Blaze now. We have less time now. Okay.
So I don't see Jennifer online. Can you see her online from your side?
Wait a second.
I can't see her.
Yeah, no, she's not
Okay.
online.
Well, she has an Ashtanga exam in 9 minutes. So I don't know, maybe there was some confusion with the stress or something, or I don't know. I'll talk to her when she comes and we'll figure it out tomorrow.
No problem. It is not compulsory. It is just self-confidence and what we have learned.
Okay, so I will. So can I continue then, or should we wait for her? Or do you want? Okay.
No, it is you.
Okay. Okay, so I've chosen the muscular system. The muscular system consists of 3 different types of muscles, namely skeletal muscles, smooth muscles, and cardiac muscles. They say that there are anywhere between 650 to 840 skeletal muscles. The characteristics or the properties of these muscle tissues are contractibility, extensibility, elasticity, and adaptability. I believe all humans should be more like their muscles. So going through the 3 different types of muscles, starting with the skeletal muscle. It's a multi-nucleus muscle. They are attached to the skeletal by tendons. They generally work in pairs. One muscle moves the bone and in one direction, and the other one moves it back again. Skeletal muscles are voluntary, as I'm sure that explains itself. Usually it's a message sent via our nervous system to tell the appropriate muscle to contract. Muscle contractions of the skeletal muscles can be short, single contractions, or longer ones. Moving on to smooth muscles. Smooth muscles are generally found in our internal organs, in our digestive system, in our blood vessels, our bladder, our respiratory, sorry about my friends screaming over here, our respiratory organs, and in the female uterus. It is a single nucleus muscle. Smooth muscles can stretch and maintain tension over extended periods of time. Smooth muscles are involuntary, as it says. They don't, involuntary explains itself. Also, again, by the nervous system. I think it would be pretty inconvenient if we had to think about digesting our food. So good thing they're involuntary. Cardiac muscles is the next one. It's pretty self-explanatory. Cardiac muscles are found in the heart. It's a single nucleus muscle. It can stretch just like the smooth muscles and contract just like the skeletal muscles. It is a twitch muscle, and it only does short single contractions, so the heartbeat. Like a smooth muscle, the cardiac muscle is involuntary, and that would be pretty dangerous if it was voluntary, because we could basically stop our own hearts if we needed to, which would be sad. Do I still have time? Should I continue or stop there? Well, which one? Continue? Okay. Okay.
Yes.
Okay, I'll go with so muscle naming and categorization. There are several different categories to put them into. I'll start with the first one, which is size. Under the size category, we have 9 different sizes. Brevis, meaning short. Major, meaning longer. Longus, meaning long. Maximus, largest. Longimus, excuse me if I say some of these wrong. I haven't got a Latin background. Longest. Minor, being smaller. Magnus, being large. Minimus, being smallest. And latimus, being the widest. On to the next category, which would fall under shape. There are 11 different types of shapes of muscles. I'm just looking at the time. I'm just gonna name them out, maybe not the description of each one, because we might be here all afternoon. Okay. Deltoid, quadratus, rhomboidus, teres, trapezius, serratus, orbicularis, pectinate. Oh, I'm sure I'm getting some of these wrong.
Okay, great.
Platus, and thank you. Yeah, I told you I'd be here all afternoon.
No, I want to ask something. I want to ask now.
Thanks, guys.
See, you had a very good explanation given for the muscular system. And about the muscular system, we'll just ask one question or 2 questions about the location of the muscle. It was really wonderful to have this revision from your side to all of us, because we can forget what we have studied in our past week. So it was a very good explanation and the concept was cleared. So can you just show me where is our trapezius muscle located? Can you tell me where is the trapezius muscle located? Or oh,
nope.
No problem.
In this very moment on the spot, no. Wait. Yes, because it's shaped like a, yeah. Okay,
yes,
you showed me kind of. Okay, yes, the trapezius, right, which is one of the major muscles.
And yes. The back. And the quadriceps, where are the quadriceps?
Okay.
In the
Next question.
where are the
Yes.
quadriceps?
Oh, wait a minute.
Your quadriceps.
Your quads would be it's
In your thigh, yes.
no, I can't hear anything.
Yes, we have
In
a
your
connection
thighs.
problem. Yep.
I know.
The internet issues are been there at the moment, Blaze, but your concepts are clear. Just the anatomical terms are very difficult to pronounce for you, but the concept is clear.
Yeah.
So thank you so much. And
Yeah, it's
we will
a
end.
good thing I will be teaching yoga to children. They don't need, it's a good thing I'll be teaching yoga to children. They don't need to understand all these fancy words. Thank you.
Yeah, and thank you so much. And teaching children is more difficult than teaching adults. Believe me, I have been teaching yoga for last 16 years, teacher training for last 6 years. But teaching to you people is very easy. But teaching to children or teaching to more old generation people above 60, above 70 is a difficult task. So you are doing very great, please. So I wish you all the best. Great. Thank you. I will chant Om and we will end up the session and we will see tomorrow. Close your eyes. Inhale. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Thank you so much, people, and have a good day ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you, Blaze.
Yes. We will end up the session. Thank you from our school.